In your dressage test, there is not any time faults and it's not a race. So breathe, take your time, slow down, and focus on a steady tempo. Hello everyone. In this video, I'm going to give you 5 tips to improve your dressage score if you are an eventer. This video is done in collaboration with Eventing Nation, and I'm mainly a dressage rider, but for all of you eventers out there, I do teach quite a few eventers, and we have a lot of eventers in our community. And there's a few themes that I have noticed about eventers. So in this video, I want to talk you through a few of my top tips to help you improve your dressage score. Okay, so my first tip, this mainly applies to eventers and not dressage riders, is to slow down and focus on a steady tempo. So a lot of times what I see with eventers is they're like going way too fast. So let me just show you, like, if I make him over tempo and I'm just like flying around the arena, a couple of things happen. One is that my horse, well, he stays pretty relaxed, but a lot of horses get more and more hyped up and tense. They go too much on the forehand. And a lot of times what I see as well with eventers is that they're like speeding up and then slowing down and speeding up and slowing down. So what I would recommend is to just take your time. Like, in your dressage test, there is not any time faults and it's not a race. So breathe, take your time. One thing that really helps that I do a lot is I just count like 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Think of like a metronome, and that you really want the tempo of your gait to remain the same. In dressage, we follow the training scale, and rhythm is the base of the training scale. So really focusing on the rhythm of your horse's gait and maintaining a steady tempo, whether you're walking, you're trotting, or you're cantering, that is super important. Tip number 2 is ride accurately from letter to letter. So, 2 of the biggest mistakes I see. Number 1 is a lot of times when people are told to go across the diagonal, they completely cut the corner, they don't touch the rail, and then, like, let's say my diagonal is supposed to go to P. A lot of times you'll either end up getting to the rail way up here or way after the letter. So, if the instruction is to, let's say, change rein across the diagonal, extremely important that you go into the corner, you touch the rail at K, for example, and then you go right to R. Judges love to be picky about accuracy because it shows whether or not your horse is on the 8. And I know if you're an eventer that you are for sure getting to the middle of your jumps. So think about the same thing when you're riding your dressage test, that you really want to ride from letter to letter. The other big mistake that people make is the 20-meter circles in the middle. Really make sure that you ride these accurately. It's a little different if you're in a 20 by 60 meter or a 20 by 40 meter, but we will put in a photo here to show you. If I'm in a 20 by 60 meter arena, I stay 2 meters to the inside of L and 2 meters to the inside of I. So that's just like a super easy thing to think about, is make sure that your 20-meter circles are round and that they're not ovals. Okay, that was 2 tips. Tip number 3 is your walk. Focus on your walk. In dressage, the walk is almost always a coefficient, which means that it counts double. Again, depending on the level that you are at, you always want to think about relaxation in your walk. So relaxation is shown by the rhythm of the walk. Relaxation is shown by your horse having a nice overstride where the hind legs are stepping beyond the footprints of the front legs. And then also that your horse is stretching nicely down to the contact. So if you're doing a free walk, you want to let your reins out as much as possible and have your horse stretch down. But focus on the walk every single day and just spend the time to really make sure that your horse is relaxed, that they have a nice quality walk, because the walk is really important for your horse's soundness. It's important for your horse's fitness and longevity. My fourth tip is Centerlines and Halts. So the best way to practice your halts is carefully. What I mean by that is that if your horse is all tense and nervous and they don't like the confinement of the halt, you want to be very tactful about how you practice the halt. Because just trying to force your horse to halt and putting a lot of pressure on your horse in the halt isn't going to go well. So I would recommend first practicing trot, walk, trot transitions. Once your trot, walk, trot transitions are good, get a nice relaxed walk, and then from the walk, ask your horse to halt on the rail to start with. And before your horse moves off, you ask them to move off and then trot on again. So the best way to practice your halts is, a lot of times I'll do it towards the end of my ride when my horse is a little bit more relaxed. I always start off practicing my halts on the rail through the walk. So I'll make a nice transition to the walk. And then the key to the halt is to do it from your seat. So I pull my tummy in and I stop my seat, and my fingers are just moving the bit a little bit to keep him soft. So I know he's not perfectly square there. But the key for the halt is get the halt to happen from your seat, and your fingers are there to keep your horse round and soft, not to make the stop happen. The other thing that's super important is, like, okay, for your dressage test, yes, you want your horse to halt square, but the way that you get your horse to halt square is by focusing that they stay round and that they don't pull on the reins into the halt. So if you can really get the halt to happen from your seat, your horse is more likely to stand square. Good boy. And the halt is something that you do, like do a few halt transitions and then go on, do something more forward. Don't drill it. Like you could even see with him, if I just keep halting, he's going to get more and more tense. But again, it's just something to practice a little bit every day. So that was 4 tips. My 5th and final tip is to breathe, smile, and have fun. I think that that's super important. That's something that we always forget, is that we love our horses, we love to ride, and whether you are doing flat work or you're out on the cross-country course, whatever your discipline is, we all need to remember to love our horses, pet our horses, and appreciate every day that we have with them. So I really hope for all you eventers that this has given you some great tips to help improve your dressage score. It's super important that you work on your dressage, because a lot of times the winner is decided based on your dressage score, and it's a great place to just put in the time and effort. It will help you with your jumping. It will help you to have a better relationship with your horse, and it will help your horse to be sounder and happier and healthier, which is super important to all of us as horse owners. So once again, thank you to Eventing Nation for collaborating on this video. Let me know in the comments what your biggest takeaway was, what your favorite tip was, and there's also some great resources that we have to help you with your competition and your showing this year. So thanks for watching. Like and subscribe to the channel. We make a new video every single Wednesday. And thanks for being our demo horse, Jack.